Be warned, this video will contain spoilers. This week's episode of The Rookie wasn't just intense, it delivered some of the most pulse-pounding moments of the season. From life-or-death scenarios to unexpected betrayals, it was an emotional rollercoaster that kept viewers on edge. And just when you thought things were settling down, the final moments sent everything crashing into chaos. If you haven't watched yet, be warned, this episode pulled no punches. One of the most gripping storylines revolved around Liam Glasser, the serial killer who's been playing a dangerous game with the Mid-Wilshire Division. The timing couldn't have been worse. Los Angeles was already dealing with a devastating wildfire when Nyla, Lucy, and Celia spotted Liam on a familiar hiking trail. But it wasn't just about finding him. As evacuations were underway, Liam, along with his wife and children, was moved to James Community Center. It seemed like a safe bet, until the situation spiraled into complete chaos. James found himself caught in a confrontation with a gang member harassing one of his friends at the center. The distraction gave Liam the perfect opportunity to slip out unnoticed. That's when Nolan stepped in, realizing that Liam's wife might be the key to finding him. She was in complete denial about her husband's true nature, but when Nolan subtly questioned their son, the truth came out. The boy had been coached to lie about a second car, a brown van, if the police ever asked. That moment shattered whatever trust Liam's wife had left in him, and she finally chose to help the officers track him down. The showdown that followed was nothing short of cinematic. Nolan pursued Liam into a house that felt like a maze, only to fall through a weak section of the floor. That should have been the end of it, but Nolan wasn't backing down without a fight. What followed was a brutal clash between him and Liam, and despite Nolan's best efforts, Liam had the upper hand. When he grabbed a scythe and went in for the kill, it was a split second away from turning into something truly horrific, until Nyla and Angela arrived just in time to put an end to Liam's reign of terror. But the intensity didn't stop there. Tim and Lucy found themselves in one of the most terrifying predicaments of the night, trapped on a road engulfed by the wildfire. A fallen, burning tree sealed their fate, and with help at least 30 minutes away, they had no choice but to huddle under a foil fire blanket, bracing for the worst. With the heat closing in, Tim seemed on the verge of revealing something important to Lucy. And just like that, the moment was cut short when they were finally rescued. The near-death experience forced them to reevaluate their priorities, with Lucy deciding it was time to take the sergeant exam. Tim, of course, supported her, noting that once she passed, she'd be out of his chain of command. The way Lucy acknowledged that detail left fans buzzing. What does this mean for them moving forward? Meanwhile, Seth, who has proven time and time again that he's more of a liability than an asset, was somehow left in charge of handling critical coordination with FEMA, NWS, and LAFD. And just as expected, it was a disaster. He did his best, sure, but when he realized he had received a warning about the very road where Tim and Lucy got trapped, and then actively covered it up, things took a dark turn. At the hospital, Seth flat out lied to Tim's face, blaming the NWS instead of owning up to his mistake. But Tim wasn't entirely convinced, and something tells us this is going to come back to haunt Seth in a big way. Then came the final gut punch. James and Kylie shared a quiet moment outside the evacuation center, where she finally started opening up about Connor, the gang member from earlier. She knew dangerous secrets about a nightclub shooting connected to his crew, and she was terrified to come forward. James reassured her that she'd be protected, but the words barely left his mouth before Connor drove by, unleashing a hail of bullets on both of them. It was a jaw-dropping ending, leaving fans with 1,000 questions. Will James survive? And if he doesn't, will Nolan believe he was cheating on Nyla after witnessing Kylie's earlier, overly appreciative kiss? This episode left us reeling, and we need to hear your thoughts. Do you think James will make it? What's next for Tim and Lucy? And what's the fallout going to be for Seth's cover-up? Drop your theories in the comments below.